Hello everyone, welcome to GoTarryn TV. I'm Tarryn, the traveling trainer from Atlanta, Georgia, and side by side, also from Atlanta, Georgia, as you can see, Mr. Todd Stewart once again filling in and joining us for GoTarryn TV, and it's so great to have him on here to help me conduct today's interview, because today we're going to be talking to a young lady who also resides here in Atlanta, Georgia, by the name of Ms. April Ross. Both Todd and I got to meet this beautiful, pleasant young lady last month, and we're looking forward to interviewing here on our podcast show in just a few seconds. So stay tuned, and when we return, we're going to be having Ms. April Ross here on GoTarryn TV. We'll be right back, folks. All right, everybody, we're back, and we're going to give April Ross a call right now. Here goes.
Hello?
Hello, April. It's Tarryn.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Very good. It's good
I'm doing fine, just tired.
Yes, I understand. I appreciate. I know this is a couple minutes early, but I'm giving you a call because I've got my co-host Todd Stewart, who you met in person last month at the gym. He's on the line. So Todd, there's April.
Hey, April. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you very much.
Well, very good to have you on the show, April. This is very, very good because, again, we wanted to get you back on here for an update and see how everything's going. And for all the listeners out there, April, if there's anything at the end of the blog that you want to give out for, anything you want to promote or website links and such, social media, we'll get that. But first and foremost, how have you been?
I've been doing very good. I've been keeping pretty busy. I went to Washington, D.C., just got back in town last night. We were advocating for disability rights and veterans' rights, and it was really cool. It was called the Roll on Capitol Hill, so I just whirled back into Atlanta last night.
Oh, that's excellent. April, how long were you out there for?
It was a 4-day conference, and we went out there and talked about our legislation and did our workshops on that, and then we spent all of Tuesday on Capitol Hill.
Oh, that's wonderful. That is amazing. How many people roughly, April, would you say there were about for turnout?
Oh, gosh. There were maybe, I would say, 30, 40 veterans and maybe about 50 wheelers.
Oh, that's tremendous. Oh, that's great. Excellent.
Wheelchair users.
Wow, April. Have you been out for that before?
No, this was my first time doing it. It's the 6th annual one. It's promoted by the United Spinal Association. It's a national organization, so they have a couple of representatives from each chapter of United Spinal. I think Georgia just has the Atlanta chapter. So me and one other lady from Georgia went and talked to all of the Georgia representatives and senators. Oh,
my God, that's amazing, April. That is wonderful. Well, I'll tell you what, to catch everyone up who's listening out there up to speed, April and I actually met face-to-face for the very first time, along with Todd, at the Family Life Center gym. And, again, we really enjoyed it because it was a video project that we were working on to get out there for other sponsorships to watch. And, April, we had you, pretty much going around the entire gym and doing some weights and dumbbells and ropes and all that craziness. And it was a lot of fun. And, anybody who didn't watch that video, I urge them to check it out. We didn't get to connect since then, but we definitely want to have you back in the gym and continue on with your workout journey. And also, I think we mentioned that your mother might be coming along, too, to the fitness center.
Yeah, I told her a lot about it, and she was excited. She really, really enjoyed the video. She told me I need to stay on those ropes, and I was like, that was the hardest part. I don't know about the ropes.
Yeah, they're pretty tough. Todd, what do you think about the ropes? Do you get a chance to get on those and knock them out?
I don't try the ropes, but I like the pulleys, the rack. The pulleys, because you do so many different things.
Yeah, the cable pulleys, yeah, you're right. Because April, you were doing some back rows, lat pull downs, on that machine too. And you're right, it's very versatile. It's a perfect universal gym to do. I think it's like 250 different exercises that could be done on that piece of equipment. So it's pretty amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, and so April, we got to get you back in, and for the folks listening, we're talking about the Family Life Center here in Buckhead. I don't think it was too far from you, and as far as Todd goes, it's within walking distance for you. How long does it take, Todd? 5 minutes probably to walk across the street there, yeah?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Great.
So that's great. Well, we got to work on that. And April, I got a lot of really great feedback on the video, the interview itself. A lot of my clients, a lot of members at the gym, and even some of my family members were saying that they were just really, truly amazed. You are a living, breathing inspiration. I think I kept saying the word, motivator. Just watching you do the exercises, and it just really inspired me to keep up my own workouts. So I was just blown away by it. And again, we had so much positive feedback on that.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. I loved it. I mean, it makes me feel good to when someone's willing to give me give it a try and not assume I can't do it, and just look at me as somebody to put on a machine and work out just like anyone else. And every little bit is some progress, and upper body strength and my core strength is a huge goal for me to improve. And I had a great time with the workout.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. And you took the words right out of my mouth, because I tell all my clients and everybody out there all the time, and my listeners know that it doesn't matter what condition we're in, what limitations or such. There's modifications for every single person, anybody across the spectrum. And Todd, I don't think there's another person better to tell you from a personal experience yourself too, because for the folks who listening don't know Todd Stewart, he's a below-knee amputee. And Todd, that doesn't stop you. I think you pretty much come in there and do as many of the machines and workouts. I always joke. I say Todd's the only guy that I see in the gym 8 days a week. And so Todd, you're in there all the time working out. What about for you? Pretty much, do you concur and agree with what April is saying in terms of you just pretty much can do as many exercise machines that you can get done?
I can do pretty much everything. I just have to alternate the movements.
Yeah.
And where just I pretty much for everything.
Yeah, I like that's another good word. Alternative. There's different alternative, and like I said, modifications for everything. April, working with you, I learned myself, and I think I mentioned that on the video, different gloves that can be used for different grips. And again, I would never have thought of that, and you enlightened me and opened my eyes to that. So for the folks who are listening, to get an idea, if they watch that video, you'll see. But can you walk us through and tell us about the gloves first and foremost, April, that we use when you're working out and exercise? For the people listening who don't get a understanding of this, so they could better have a knowledge of it.
Sure. I use they're called grasping cuffs. I have a C6, C7 spinal cord injury, and that means that it's called tetraplegia. And so my hands are impaired. I don't have normal hand dexterity and strength, so I cannot grab a dumbbell or a bar and hold on to it well enough to actually do an exercise. So I use these gloves, and they kind of cup my hand, and then we use the Velcro strap to squeeze my hand around whatever it is, and it allows me to hold on to the device well enough to actually to complete an exercise. And honestly, for anybody out there who is a wheelchair user, it's a great device because you can use it for more than just working out, kitchen cleaning or anything you need to grasp, you can use it for.
That's amazing. Yeah, Todd, have you seen that before we met April?
Yeah. I remember I helped her change the gloves on for certain things.
Yeah.
I think for wheels and for grasping.
Yeah, and that was really, really interesting. And also, April, Todd helped out teach for me as a guest lecturer, guest speaker at Georgia State University, because I teach a college exercise science class there, and he came in and spoke about he has seizures and also a condition called neurofibromatosis level 1. And I think what would be really cool in the fall coming up, which only has a couple months, technically it begins in August, I'm going to be teaching a new college exercise science class at Georgia State University And I was interested to see if you might become interested, available to come guest speak and lecture as Todd does too at our class.
Oh, I'd love to come.
Yeah, that would be great to have you there. So I will send some times your way for some dates. Again, they'll be August once fall semester hits. Just please look at your availability, and it's right there. The Georgia State campus downtown, not too far from where your work office. Give you an idea geographically.
Yeah.
It's near Grady Memorial Hospital is where I'm near Decatur Street, Piedmont Road. That exit right over there in Jesse Hill Avenue. So not too far from where you're at.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty familiar with that area.
Yeah. Well, and let me ask you this, April. I wanted to talk about what are the advanced technology now? What are you finding in terms of paraplegic and, what you were just talking about for grip strength and regaining, nerve damage and repair? What are you finding? Are you satisfied and happy with the improvements and technology improvements and research and science that's happening right now?
It's the first thing that every doctor and therapist I've dealt with has told me is, every spinal cord injury, every neurological injury is different. So what people gain back and what people don't gain back, it really is impossible to know who gets what. But there are things you can do to give you the best chance of regaining strength. So I've gone through, over the 3 years since I've been injured, lots of hand exercises, squeezing, pumping, playing with putty, dexterity exercises and activities. Then, of course, using the grasping cuffs. I've also had, on my left hand, I have a much stronger, I think you noticed, I have a stronger grip on my left than I do on my right. And that's because I had a procedure done called a tendon transfer, where they moved muscle from my forearm to my hand into my palm, to basically give me a muscle, a chance to kind of gain and build muscle strength in my hand. And so I have a grip and a pinch on my left hand, so that I didn't have before.
Oh, okay.
My right hand is getting stronger movement through, exercise, and I'm considering a tendon transfer on the right hand as well.
Very good. Excellent. That's terrific. And let's go back to the Washington, D.C. event that you just came back from. Did you learn anything enlightening or meet any really good people that you could take away that you were just happy with, after the event itself?
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I met so many good people, and I learned a lot about, for one, it's been 3 years for me. I haven't been injured as long as many people out there, but, you learn so much about life, and you see life from a different perspective, and the most vulnerable community, in addition to children and elderly, is the disabled community, and just trying to help protect the rights of people who are disabled so that we still have the best opportunity to live independent, full lives. And it's what I'm experiencing now. Some of it is what's enabled me to go back to work in the first place and continue to try to live my life as much as it was like it was before.
Right.
So,
that's terrific, April. And Todd, you can attest to this. When we met you, April, we were talking about the swimming pool being another great therapy and great exercise. Todd told me that when Amy Copeland comes to our gym and swims. Todd, can you tell the folks out there listening a little bit about?
I remember her.
Yeah, Amy Copeland.
Yeah, she's I've seen her in the chair. She's missing both arms, I think one leg, isn't she?
And she uses the swimming pool, you said, in the mornings.
Yeah, goes to the pool. So she must find a way to get in there. I've never seen anyone in a chair get in the pool, but there has to be a ramp. Did Todd Washington mention one?
Yeah, we'll have to ask him about that, because that was one thing we were mentioning about the chairlift. Why that pool doesn't have one, we got to find that out. But again, that would be for sure really beneficial. And April, I love that what you're saying, that you're trying everything possible that you can in terms of what you can push your body through. You mentioned this in the beginning of the video interview, that you're working, core and chest, back, arms, upper body, everything, and that's not going to stop you. And again, that's terrific, because the fitness center allows that. There is a lot of available options. As I mentioned, a lot of different. Todd also mentioned different alternative exercises you could do with the cable pulley machines and such. And that's why, it's just I can learn so much from you just as much because it'll help me further my education and knowledge. We're working with other people and knowing that in the future too, and that's terrific.
I really love that pulling machine where I was at doing the arm stuff because it was most gyms have it where there's always a bench or a chair that's stationary or connected to the machine.
Mm-hmm.
So most wheelchair users that maybe don't want to travel really far or try to use a local gym, and they end up not being able to use much of the equipment for reasons like that because it's not easy or feasible to pop out of your chair into a bench and do the exercise, especially if you're like me and you don't have the core strength to sit up alone or sit up without assistance. So, but being able to pull right up to the machine, hook up to the, grab my hands and get my hands hooked up to it and do different exercises without having to ask somebody, be far away and trying to go around the bench. That really, I like that. And the space was so open and accessible.
Good. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. I love it that the hallways everywhere there has big open doorways. And so, again, I want to encourage you to continue coming and reach out to Todd, me, and we'll work with you and definitely love to enjoy helping you on your fitness journey in there. And April, for the listeners out there too, can you walk us through? And we mentioned earlier where that you work downtown Atlanta as a prosecutor. Can you kind of a get to know you? How long have you been working in the legal world, and what made you and inspired you to go that direction? And can you tell the folks a little bit about your work too, please?
Oh yeah, I always kind of wanted to be an attorney because my dad was, but I thought when I was little, I was like, I thought you had to be really, really smart to be an attorney. So
you do. You absolutely do.
Yeah. And so I went to Florida A&M for undergraduate, and
Excellent.
And I finished my master's degree while I was there. So
Very
I actually
good.
started out in corporate America working in marketing for Best Buy. I actually was on the Geek Squad marketing team.
Very
So
good.
I spent some time living in Minneapolis, working there, and then I decided I really wanted to try law school. So I moved back home, took the bar, and I went to law school in 2008. I came out in 2011, passed the bar, and then started at the DA's office in 2012. That was right. In 2011, I actually graduated from law school, got married, and passed the bar all in that year.
Wow.
So in 2012, I started at the DA's office in Fulton County, and within a couple of months of being there, I got assigned to the Atlanta Public Schools cheating scandal trial. And I worked exclusively on that case until my injury. At the time, I was trying to file for divorce, and within a day or two of filing for divorce, my husband was, stalking me, and he pulled up beside my car, got beside my car, and fired into the vehicle, and that's how I ended up being paralyzed. So I lost some time at work, but I went back in November of 2015. So I was out of work for a while, but I did go back, and slowly I've been doing a number of things. I've worked on state legislation for domestic violence issues, and I do speaking around the city. I also work on small, occasional cases. I do hearings and things with other attorneys to help them out. But the biggest issue is sort of education and different things around domestic violence is kind of where I spend a lot of time at the job.
That's incredible. I don't know how you keep a busy schedule. I mean, gosh, it just seems like, I joked around saying Todd, works out 8 days a week. It sounds like you work 8 days a week, April. It's just amazing. Your schedule is just wow. That's hopefully you leave a little time to yourself and get some rest and relaxation. What do you like to do, April? Yeah, you need to. You deserve it. What do your hobbies and interests consist of?
Well,
when you're not
I've
working?
Been driving now for a year. I really love driving. I started driving a year ago, and I like to drive.
Good.
And I have birds. I have birds for Christmas, so I really love my birds.
Oh,
I've never had birds before, but now I love birds.
Excellent. How many do you have?
I have two, Sunshine and Maisie.
Oh, that's so cute. Oh, wow. they're beautiful creatures. And they're smart.
Yes.
They're very, very intelligent.
Oh, they are.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just so fun to watch. And they really, I just love them being around them. They're so playful, and they're just adorable. And that's a new experience, because I actually went bird watching, and I think somebody mistranslated from me wanting a bird feeder to me wanting a bird. So that's how I ended up with birds.
Oh, that's such a cute story. Oh, I love that. Do they stay in the same cage with each other? Are they friendly with each other?
They are friendly, and they do stay in the same cage, but you can't tell the sex of a bird until they are older. So I realized I have a boy and a girl, so it might be time to get separate cages.
Oh, well, we're big animal lovers, both Todd and I, and I love birds. They're just, again, they're highly intelligent, and they're just really fun to listen to and watch. I love that. And what else? Let me ask you this, April. What would you say are some of your long-term goals that you'd like to get accomplished? Here we are, this year is just flying by so fast. We're mid-year, we're mid-month literally too. But what do your goals entail? What you'd like to get done? Top 3 to 5 goals that you'd like to really get accomplished long-term here down the line.
Well, I have one of my big goals right now is to finish a book. I've been inching along on a book I've been working on about my story and just about my reflections of my journey. And so I'm really hoping to get that finished and share that with the world. I'm also looking to start doing some work and programs in the area of, I guess I want to start programs that are on a more proactive approach to abusive relationships. I want to start working with men in particular, getting men with young boys and young guys, so that they start learning about healthy relationships, healthy breakups, healthy makeups, all those things as young men, as young boys, I should say. And so that when they become young men and then later men, they already have instilled the right things they need, the right tools they need to deal with emotions in a relationship, deal with breakups, deal with the different things that come in a relationship. Because I think that we focus a lot on the aftermath and, helping to get victims into shelters and helping to people and children to deal with the after effects of abuse. But if we start talking to, and I say that, I know some people say, why men only? Statistically, men are primarily the main perpetrators of domestic violence. Mm-hmm. But that's not to say that women are not sometimes abusers. Mm-hmm. But I want to start talking to men who demonstrate healthy traits in relationships and healthy qualities, and help start building mentoring connections between them and young boys, so that, we try to start from there, start from a proactive approach.
Very good.
And maybe build out build the program out, and it'll go from there. So that's a big. Those are 2 big goals. I guess I probably shouldn't do 3 or 5 because I wouldn't have time to breathe.
Oh my God, yeah. No, I love it though. What you said, that's very much true. I agree that no question that predominantly it is men who are the instigators of abuse, which is absolutely never okay. And I think that I strongly agree that we do need some education and some awareness to these men, especially when they're young, and that they can be impressionable to learn why it's not okay, and what the consequences can be. So I think it sounds like you were just amazingly in some ways destined to do this, because you could speak from it firsthand from a personal account, but you obviously know what you're talking about. So what better person than you to be able to talk to these young men and let them know how to guide them on the right path, and how to get those better qualities. So we need more people like you to be doing that, April. I think that's terrific. That it's almost like a calling in some ways, is what it sounds like from my perspective of what you're doing. So that's wonderful. Todd and I want to do anything we can to help you on that too as well. I mean, what do you think, Todd?
Absolutely.
Yeah. The other thing I was thinking about this while I was just brainstorming here in the back of my mind. April, we got to get you to meet Todd's significant other, Rick Howington, who's in the background. Rick actually has his own IT company, pretty much a mom and pop's version of a competitor to the Geek Squad, known as Tech Advocates. And Todd actually works with Rick as well. And so with your marketing background, Todd, I really think that April would be a great help and asset with you and Rick being able to promote and market and advertise Tech Advocates.
All right, I'll get with him.
Yeah, certainly. We'll have to introduce, Rick and April together, and that way we can, come up with some brainstorming ideas how to compete against Geek Squad and get that market share going. But that's terrific, April. Well, listen, this half hour has flown by so fast. I can't believe how quickly 30 minutes goes by so quickly really here. But before we let you go, again, I just want to ask you, is there any other, insight, tips, or suggestions? If any, let's say women or anybody for that matter listening are finding themselves in possibly an abusive relationship, or let's say they are already entrenched in it. Do you have any advice for anybody listening out there? Where they can go to, any website, phone numbers, social media, anything like that to connect with?
Yes, there are so many organizations, and there are domestic violence hotlines through the Georgia Coalition Against Domestic Violence. Mm-hmm. Their website is gcadv.org. There's also the Women's Resource Center, and they do a great job of giving women not just shelter, but a lot of great resources, women and children, a lot of great resources to help start to rebuild their lives. Oh my gosh, I have so many. I hate to leave some out because there's so many places that people can go. But the good thing is they're there. So whatever you're doing, if you're in an abusive relationship, the first thing that I would advise is find a safe place. And I believe in I call it build a safety plan. And it may not be that you always want to leave right away, because I understand that everyone's not ready to leave right away, and I can't judge anyone on when they leave a relationship. But you can start doing things if you recognize signs of an abusive relationship to build yourself a safety plan and an exit strategy, especially if you have young children, so that if the need comes and when that emergency arises, you have plans in place. That means letting friends know, hey, if you ever see me send a strange text, that means I'm in trouble. Hey, if you get a call from me and an immediate hang-up, call 911. Anything that can help send a signal that may need to be a discreet signal to help you in a moment of crisis. And as far as trying to find somewhere to go, my gosh, the Women's Resource Center is probably number one that comes to my mind right now. But the Georgia Coalition Against Domestic Violence helps direct people to resources. In Fulton County, we have the Safe Families Office. If you need to come down to Fulton County, if you're a resident of the county, and you want to get a temporary protective order, you can come down and they will walk you through every step of the process. In fact, before I was injured, I actually volunteered with them, so I helped people get TPOs. And the funny thing is, when it was shoe was on the other foot and people told me to get a protective order, I didn't listen. But it's just there's tons of resources, and I just wish I had put a list together before. I didn't expect that question, but there are tons, and they even have some that will take you if you have a pet and you're trying to get into a shelter. Some ones that will take children, ones that will take people who are transgender. There are resources for everyone now.
That's good.
But you probably want to start with calling a hotline.
Very good. Very, very good, April. We'll get some of those websites listed with the video blog attached, too, for this podcast show. That'll be very helpful. And getting back to your book, April, that's exciting. I'm looking forward to, your journey with completing that. And that'll be very interesting once you're able to get that done. And, we'll do everything we can to help promote and advertise it here on our show. In fact, April, let's definitely have you back on. With your schedule. I know you got a really busy schedule. If you ever have time to do this again with us, maybe next show we can focus on your book and ask about that. Lastly, April, is there any contact information you want to personally give out? If anybody's listening that wants to follow up, and if they have any questions for you, if they shoot you an email or if you're on social media, any ways that they can contact you directly?
Yes, I'm on Facebook at April Ross. And if anybody wants to reach me directly, I can give my email. Right now it's april.whitney, WHITNEY, @gmail.com. And look out for the website. I will share. I've named my foundation. It's going to be Encourageous.
Good.
It's a kind of a play on being encouraged and being courageous. So finding courage, being courageous. And I'll have that website set up soon. I have actually a designer working on it now. So look out for that as well. But I'll post information about that on my Facebook when it's available. So Facebook is probably the best way right now to keep up with me. But if you have a personal issue or question and would like to reach out to me, you can definitely reach out to me via the email.
Excellent. Very good. I like that. Encourageous. I love that. That's amazing. And definitely, like I mentioned, Todd, Rick can for sure help you, April. If you have any, if you run into any snags or with website help, Todd and Rick are your guys. They can help you out with that. They'll be your advocates for the technology part of it.
Thank you.
Well,
I will follow up on that.
Todd, before we let April go, do you have any final comments or questions for April at all that you'd like to say?
Well, I hope we get a chairlift or a ramp in the pool.
Very well said. Yes, amen. Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, that would be wonderful.
We need to. Yeah, and definitely, April. Let's reach out. Contact Todd or I, and let me know what your schedule's like. Get you back in the gym, and we'll figure out alternatives for getting into the pool and out in the meantime till they get that. But you're right, Todd. Absolutely. Let's get on the other Todd Washington, the manager, and see if when we can make that happen. Well, listen, April, thank you again for your time. Let's definitely have you back on. We want to promote your website once you get that launched, and also the book, of course. And we'll touch base and reconnect and see how everything else is going on another one of these podcast shows.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for everything, Tarryn. Thank you, Todd.
Our pleasure.
Yeah, thank you, April. Good talking to you.
All right, we'll see you, April.
You guys take care.
You too.
Bye.
Thank you. All right, folks, here comes April's contact information one more time.